Okay, deep divers, ready to dive in.
Always.
Today we're going deep, like seriously deep, with this intense document. It's called Planning and Execution of Divine Connection by Dr. Khalid Walid.
Oh, I know Dr. Walid's work. He doesn't shy away from a challenge.
No, he does not. He takes these Quranic verses from Surah An-Nisa and Al-Baqarah and, well, he kind of decodes them.
Decodes, yeah, that's a good way to put it. He reveals these layers of meaning you wouldn't expect.
It's not your average tafsir, is it?
Not at all. This is high-level, insightful analysis.
So give me the SparkNotes version. What's the core message Dr. Walid is trying to get across?
He connects the dots between prayer, migration, conflict, things that seem totally separate, and he ties them all to this idea of active faith, and how that plays out in our responsibilities to society.
Active faith. I like that. So it's not just about rituals, but how we live it out in the real world.
Exactly.
He starts off in Surah An-Nisa,
Yeah.
right? Talking about oppression, migration, and he gets pretty real about what's happening in Palestine.
He does. He even draws this parallel between the verses about the Bani Israel leaving the Holy Land and the situation in Palestine today.
Wow. He's not afraid to go there.
He's not. And get this. He suggests that the instructions to shorten prayers during travel.
Right, like when you're on a journey.
Yes, exactly. He interprets that as a form of spiritual self-preservation.
Wait, hold on. What? How does shortening prayers protect you spiritually? I'm not following.
It's interesting, right? He's saying that in the context of those verses, surrounded by potential enemies, shortening prayers could be about conserving your spiritual energy, being careful about who you engage with, like a spiritual form of tactical retreat.
Okay, I kind of get it. Like, I'm going to conserve my energy here and choose my battles.
Yes, exactly.
So how does that tie into the concept of migration?
Well, he talks about migration not just as physically leaving a place, but also as actively creating a space for your faith to grow.
Okay.
He even quotes a verse from Surah An-Nisa, verse 100, I think. It says, "And whoever emigrates for the cause of Allah will find on earth much refuge and abundance."
Right, right. So it's about taking action physically and spiritually to protect your faith.
Yes, to nurture it, to help it flourish.
Okay. So then he gets into this whole thing about the 5 phases of prayer during conflict.
He does.
5 phases in one verse. Sorry, did you break it down for me?
Okay, so he starts by talking about how prophets throughout history, they led their people in prayer, right, standing among them.
Mm-hmm.
He says this relates to the first phase, this idea of shared struggle, shared faith. A leader who prays with the people, not just for them.
I like that. A leader who understands what you're going through.
Absolutely.
So what's the second phase?
The second phase he describes as being for those who are newer to the faith who haven't yet established their prayer.
Okay.
And he says this instruction to join the second unit of prayer, it emphasizes the importance of teaching them vigilance.
So bringing everyone up to speed, making sure everyone's ready for the fight, literally or metaphorically.
Exactly. But he takes it even deeper than that. He connects it to the broader theme of spiritual struggle.
Spiritual struggle. Okay, I definitely want to hear more about that. So the spiritual struggle he keeps mentioning, what exactly does he mean by that?
Well, he makes this really interesting point, and it kind of stuck with me, about the potential for, infiltrator.
Infiltrator.
Yeah, like people who might appear to be with the believers, but deep down they have other motives.
Okay, yeah.
And he links that to the importance of guarding your faith, even from within,
Oh, I see. Like not just external threats, but also internal ones.
Exactly. Those doubts, the whispers, the things that can weaken your faith from the inside.
Right, right. The things that can make you question yourself, your beliefs.
Exactly.
So it's like he's saying, be careful who you trust, be mindful of the influences you let in.
Yes. Don't let your guard down. Protect your heart, your mind, your connection with Allah.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's 2 phases of prayer down, right? What about the third one?
All right, so the third phase...
This whole 5 phases thing is really fascinating.
It's about to get even more interesting. So in the third phase, he brings in this image of enemies lying in wait, ready to pounce.
Oh, wow. And he's pulling that directly from the verse, right? The one about the disbelievers wishing the believers would neglect their weapons and their baggage.
Exactly. He interprets that as a call for constant vigilance, like be aware of the tactics of those who oppose you.
Because it's not always a head-on fight, is it? Sometimes it's about waiting for the other side to slip up.
Exactly. To get complacent, to let their guard down.
And he's not just talking about literal battles here, right? He's talking about our everyday struggles too.
Right, our internal struggles, the battles we fight against our own weaknesses.
So staying vigilant isn't just about physical safety. it's also about protecting your faith, your value.
Your integrity, your connection with Allah.
Exactly.
And that's what's so brilliant about his analysis, He always connects it back to these deeper spiritual truths.
Okay, 2 more phases to go. What's next?
Okay, so the 4th phase, it offers a bit of a reprieve, but it's also a reminder to stay focused. It addresses those who are injured, maybe sick, and it allows them to set aside their weapons.
Okay, so even in the midst of a struggle, there's compassion. There's an understanding that we have limits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about pushing people beyond their breaking point.
Right. Everyone contributes in their own way.
Absolutely. So what about that final phase, the 5th one? What's the takeaway there?
I think it's about balance. He reminds us that even when you're given a break, when things seem calmer, it's still important to be cautious. He even quotes that part of the verse that talks about how Allah is preparing a humiliating punishment for those who oppose the believers.
Right.
It's
intense.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even with those concessions for hardship, you can't let your guard down completely.
Right.
Yeah.
The struggle never really ends, does it? It just takes different forms.
Exactly. And this is where he takes his whole analysis to a whole other level. He dives into verse 103, which talks about remembering Allah, standing, sitting, and lying on your sides.
Okay, yeah, I remember that verse. But how does he tie that in to everything we've been talking about?
Well, this is where his unconventional interpretation really shines through. He goes beyond the typical understanding of prayer postures. He sees these positions as representing different stages of engaging with God's commands.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that.
Sure. So he takes the Arabic word for completion, qada, and he connects it to this pre-execution phase.
Pre-execution.
Yeah, like before you actually do something. He's talking about studying, planning, strategizing, all that mental work that goes into making a decision or taking action. He actually says this state is achieved by studying the matter at hand and researching it.
So it's like you're drawing up the blueprints before you build a house.
Yes.
You're bringing intentionality to your actions, making sure they're in line with your understanding of God's will.
Exactly. And then there's qiyam, standing, which he links to the most active stage of execution.
So you plan, and then you stand up and you actually do it.
Yes. You put those plans into action. You move from contemplation to actually doing the work.
Okay, I'm following. So what about sitting? Where does that fit in?
Quaid, sitting, represents a kind of a pause in the process. You've started, but maybe things aren't quite in place yet. You're waiting, you're observing, maybe making adjustments along the way.
Which is so real, right?
Mhm.
Life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes you have to take a step back and reevaluate.
Absolutely. And that's where the final posture comes in, lying on your sides.
Okay.
He suggests this symbolizes those times when you realize the conditions just aren't right. You need to postpone. Not every fight is meant to be fought at that moment.
Interesting. It's like he's saying, choose your battles.
Yes, and he ties this back to his earlier points about spiritual self-preservation, strategic engagement.
Right. It's all connected.
It is. He even brings in the story of Prophet Ibrahim asking to see how God revives the dead. You know that one?
Yeah.
And he connects it to the idea of itminan, this
Calmness.
Yes, this calmness, this tranquility that comes from deepening your understanding over time.
Wow, he's weaving together all of these different threads, the verses, the stories, the spiritual concepts. It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
But I have to ask, how does all of this connect back to prayer? It feels like we've gone way beyond the traditional understanding.
And that's the whole point. He's saying that prayer isn't confined to these specific rituals or postures.
It's bigger than that.
Much bigger. It's a continuous state of being, of aligning your will with Allah's will in every aspect of your life.
So standing, sitting, lying on your sides is not about our physical position. It's about the different ways we engage with our faith throughout the day.
You got it. He's essentially saying that life itself becomes a form of prayer when you approach it with intention, with awareness of the divine.
That's a powerful way to look at it. So prayer isn't just something you do, it's something you embody.
Exactly. And he doesn't stop there.
So he's saying prayer is this active thing, this connection with Allah that's woven into everything we do, not just when we're on the prayer rug.
Exactly. And he goes on to introduce this idea of established prayer.
Established prayer, what does that even mean?
He's saying that once you've gone through those phases, the planning, acting, pausing, reflecting, once you've reached that state of
Itminan.
Yes, itminan, that deep inner certainty, that's when you reach true prayer.
Okay. Your actions become so aligned with the divine, they become a form of worship in themselves.
Wow, that's deep. So it's not just about going through the motions, but really embodying the essence of prayer in everything you do.
Exactly. And he uses verses from Surah Al-Baqarah to kind of illustrate this point.
Right.
Like, remember verse 43, where Allah commands us to establish prayer, give zakah, and bow with those who bow.
Right. It's about action, community, not just individual prayer.
Precisely. He sees these actions, giving zakah, bowing together, as extensions of prayer, tangible ways we manifest that connection with Allah out in the world.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
And then he goes on to verse 177, which describes the qualities of the righteous, And he really drives home that point about active faith, because that verse is full of action verbs, right? Believes, gives, establishes, fulfills, like a blueprint for a life of purpose.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that this active faith, it has to be rooted in a deep, unwavering belief in Allah alone.
Okay.
In fact, he actually critiques practices in other religions, and even some within Islam, that he sees as going against this principle.
He doesn't hold back, does he?
He doesn't. He even calls out Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, even some sects within Islam for what he sees as associating partners with Allah.
He seems really concerned about anything that could compromise the purity of worshiping the one God.
He sees it as a slippery slope. And he urges his readers to really examine their own beliefs, make sure they're in line with worshiping God alone, as the Quran teaches.
So after this whole deep dive with all these different interpretations, how does he wrap it all up? What's his final message?
He concludes by emphasizing the importance of seeking knowledge, understanding, having a direct connection with Allah.
Okay.
He wants his readers to question, to reflect, to really live their faith, not just passively accept what they've been told.
So not blind faith, but a faith that's informed, that's evolving through study, reflection, action.
Exactly. Dr. Walid is challenging us to engage with the Quran on a deeper level, to wrestle with its meaning and let it guide us towards a more conscious, purposeful life.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about. Dr. Walid's planning and execution of divine connection is definitely dense.
It's challenging, thought-provoking.
But it's a powerful reminder that faith is not passive, right? It's about actively seeking knowledge, striving to live by your beliefs, and constantly deepening that connection with the divine.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, if Dr. Walid is right, and prayer is woven into everything we do, every interaction we have, how does that change the way we move through the world? How does it affect our relationships, our work, even our experience of the most ordinary moments? It's definitely something to ponder.
Until next time, deep divers.